Elevation Partners founder Roger McNamee joins us now. We'll discuss the hearing and your thoughts about overall policy going forward. First, just give me your reaction to Zuckerberg's decision to turn around and address those parents in that way.
First of all, I admire him for doing that. I think that it's really important to acknowledge responsibility in this case. So I tip my hat to Mark for doing that. I don't think the apology itself helps at all, but I think it was an excellent gesture. I think from an investor point of view, when you look at that hearing, I think the two things that really stand out are, one, the tone of the hearing and the presence of the families and the large numbers of young people in the room gave this particular hearing more gravitas than the ones we've had in the past. And so I think there is some kind of mark it's going to leave. That said, and this is the second point, and I think the key one for investors, there is no reason to believe Congress is going to act on this year. In fact, it's not clear when, if ever, Congress is ever going to act. Facebook, or really Meta, and the other majors each have allies inside Congress. Leader Schumer has been an absolutely reliable defender of Meta's interests in Congress and has the ability to block things from coming to the floor. And so when you look at it, I don't think investors need to worry about that. I think what they need to worry about are the lawsuits that are going on, particularly the ones of the state attorneys general, because I think the cases going after design are a real threat, and it's almost certain that they're going to lose them. And I think the other guys have other legal cases that they're going to lose. And
Roger, why is it certain that they're almost certain that they're going to lose them? Thus far, they have yet to. I mean, they They use 230. They use 1A. They use as a legal justification. Why is that going to change?
So, David, excellent question. So we've had the first example of a 230 case being won by the plaintiff, which happened just like a month or so ago. The extraordinary Carrie Goldberg, who has been a defender of women who've had their privacy invaded or had their lives turned over, has won a case, and I think it's the first. And here's why I think it's different. 230 was created to protect internet platforms as effectively common carriers, saying they were like a telephone company and they had no control over the content. The cases that are coming up now are about design. And design is something over which internet platforms have 100% control. And the cases against Instagram, against Meta's Instagram division, which there are a total of 10 cases. One of them is a group of 33 states in federal court. The other are 9 individual states in their own home courts. They all allege that Meta allowed the design of Instagram, that effectively Instagram design was there to addict children and to leave them vulnerable to all kinds of predation. And the problem here is that every time a court rules with Meta, what they're saying is the First Amendment in Section 230 entitle internet companies to knowingly harm their users for profit. And, politically, I just don't think that's going to hold up. And eventually some judge is going to go, wait a minute. These are conscious choices made with full information. And we have in the public record very clear evidence that the executives of Meta knew what they were doing in the design of Instagram. And as a result, I don't think there's going to be any place to hide. They may win a few more cases, but they're eventually going to lose one, just the way that the tobacco guys and the gun guys eventually lost cases. And I think the stock market effect, when that happens, will be similar. And if I were an investor today, I'd be at least planning